All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're putting on our detective hats to solve a mystery that, let's be honest, probably drives you crazy. The case of the slow drain. So, what's really going on down there?
You know that sound, right? That gurgle? That slow, sad swirl of water? Yeah, it's more than just annoying. Think of it like a secret code, a message coming from deep inside your pipes. It's a warning. And today, we're going to crack that code together.
Okay, so every good investigation starts by identifying the suspects. Let's line up the usual culprits, this rogues gallery of drain-clogging offenders.
And in the bathroom, our #1 most wanted is, you guessed it, the hairball horror. It's a classic partnership in crime. Hair goes down the drain, and then it finds its accomplice, sticky soap scum. Together, they create this nasty, formidable blockage that just slowly but surely strangles your water flow.
Now let's head to the kitchen. Here, the villain is the grease glob. You pour fats, oils, little food scraps, even coffee grounds down the sink. And sure, it's all liquid and seems fine when it's hot. But what happens when it cools down? It turns into this solid, waxy, incredibly stubborn clog. A real monster. But get this, not all the bad guys are coming from inside the house. Sometimes the threat is external. Meet the root intruder. It's kind of crazy, but tree roots are hardwired to hunt for moisture and nutrients, and your sewer lines are like a 5-star restaurant for them. They'll literally break into your pipes, causing massive blockages and sometimes even cracking them wide open.
So yeah, it's a whole lineup of troublemakers. We've got the hair and grease, of course. But then you have things people flush that they absolutely shouldn't. And if you're in an older home, you've got other things to worry about, like mineral buildup from hard water, or even old sewer lines that are starting to sag. That creates the perfect trap for everything to get stuck.
All right, so we know who the suspects are. The next step in any investigation is learning to spot the evidence. We need to decode those warning signs, really listen to the clues your plumbing is trying to give you before things get out of hand.
And you really need to know the difference between an early clue and a major red flag. See a single drain slowing down or hear some gurgling? Okay, that's your early warning. But when you have multiple drains backing up at once, or worse, you can actually smell sewage, whoa, that's a huge red flag. That's not a small clog. That's pointing to a big problem, probably in your main sewer line. That's when things get real.
Which brings us to a really important moment for any DIY detective, knowing when to throw in the towel and call for backup. Look, some cases are just too big to handle on your own.
So let's make it easy. Here's a quick test for you. Ask yourself, 1, is more than one drain in my house having issues? 2, can I smell that awful sewage smell? 3, have I already tried the basic stuff and it just didn't work? If you answered yes to any of those questions, it's time. Stop what you're doing, put down the tools, and call a pro.
Okay, so we've tracked the culprits, we know when to call in the professionals. But what's the best way to solve a crime? Prevent it from ever happening in the first place, right? So let's talk about your prevention playbook, how to basically clog-proof your home and close this case for good.
And honestly, a lot of this stuff is super simple. Pop some drain screens in your sinks and shower to catch hair. That grease from cooking? Pour it into a can, let it solidify, and toss it in the trash, never the sink. After you do dishes, just let the hot water run for a minute to flush things out. And for the love of all that is holy, the only thing that should ever be flushed is toilet paper. It's just these small, everyday habits, but they make a massive difference.
You know that old saying, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure? Well, it's so true here. A tiny bit of effort now can save you from a giant headache and a wallet-emptying plumbing bill later. Seriously, it's the smartest thing you can do for the health of your home's plumbing. Oh, and here's a major pro tip, especially if you're living in an older house. Think about getting a professional to come out and inspect your main sewer line every 2 or 3 years. Seriously, they can spot things like those pesky tree roots or pipes that are starting to decay before it turns into a total disaster. So as we wrap up this investigation, I want to leave you with this one thought. Your drains are working hard for you 24/7, no days off. The real question is, now that you know all this, are you going to give them a fighting chance?